Hey everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my booktube channel. So I realized I hadn't filmed anything in like a week. I was working on a vlog and then I just sort of petered out of, and I'm still gonna upload it, but it just was not what I was hoping it would be. So today I'm here to go through an August TBR. So your girl, if you've been here a while, is bad with TBRs, but I think I've been better this summer, and I think that I'm apt to not get a lot of reading done in the month of August because I go back to work. In fact, I go back to work July 31st. So, and that really will impact my reading because during the summer I can go like read a little here, read a little there, and I don't have work stressors to like distract me or you know, take over or whatever. So I think a TBR is a good idea for me in just the sense of giving me guidance and having a stack of books so I can go, okay, let's read, right? Because I try to read every day and I'm still working on my summer bingo card. So for those of you who don't know, I am part of like a real life literary society book club type thing, and we call ourselves the Book Bitches, and we every summer do a bingo card. And this year I put my bingo card out in the world. I put the link to it out in the world, and I did TBRs, and then I've done some vlogs where I've kind of talked about reading the things that cover the squares for my TBR. So, you know, if you're interested in that, check it out. It's you know, available or whatever. I'll have it, you know, linked or whatever. So let's get into this TBR. When I started picking out books, I was like, I'm just gonna pick out a few because August is not a big reading month for me. And then the stack kept stacking, right? So you know, we'll see. So the first two books don't really go for my bingo per se. They go more for like summer vibes, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when it's not really the season for something, I might have a hard time getting into it. So for like, you know, in the winter time, I probably am not going to read summery books. And so because of that, I pulled two books that I've had on my TBR shelf for a while and just haven't gotten to. And partly it's because when they get kind of off season, then I just sort of like don't pay any attention to them. If you're hearing weird background noises, my husband is doing like home improvement stuff, so just ignore. So anyway, first up, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. In the summer, especially, and especially like the month of July for me, I've been reading a lot of like romances and things, the books that have like happily ever afters and all that kind of stuff. And I've had this book since it came out in 2021. So I've had it for a couple of years now. Haven't gotten into it. So I feel like a lot of people have talked about this book, but just to kind of give you guys an idea, it's about this woman, Piper, who is like this, like, she has paparazzi followers, she's like an influencer or whatever, like she's well known, and she goes to a small town to kind of lay low, and that's where she interacts with the locals. People have said that it gives them like Schitt's Creek vibes, and I love Schitt's Creek. Like, it's one of my comfort shows, and so I would like to read this before the summer, the warmth leaves. And for those of you who are not familiar, I'm in Texas, so like, yeah, it's gonna be hot for a while. It's been hot, it's gonna stay hot, so that's what's up with that. So I would like to read this sooner than later in the month of August, preferably while it's still hot. The next one falls in that same category as far as book that is more summer geared that I probably won't read in like December. So this one is called Solstice by Lawrence Allison. This one is not very long, so it won't take me very long to read it. I think it came out in 2020. I've had it on my shelf for a while. I think I picked it up like at like a bargain, and it was kind of a cover buy because look at this cover. Like, first of all, very much summer vibes, and then also I like the little skull right here for the O in solstice. So this book is about a woman. I think her name is Adri, like or something. Audrey. She is gifted, wins some tickets to a music festival, the Solstice Music Festival. And so she goes and is expecting to have an amazing time. And of course, no, right? Like you see the little like skull here. Yeah, no, things do not. And so, like it becomes like a, and I'm interested in this one because of like the music festival thing, which is not something I really do, but I think that's a cool setting. I think this cover is really cool. Also, look at the back of it. And then, like you see, like it's kind of a kind of a skull, and look, she's surfing. Like I just dig the vibes, and so I'm curious. I want to read this one. Okay, so the next couple of books kind of go more with my bingo. So you could look at my actual card if you go and watch some of those bingo videos. I show my card a bunch so you can see where my stuff is on my card. So one of the squares on my card that I need to kind of read something and cover up is for speculative fiction. So for that, if you go into my TBR videos for that, you'll see I have a copy of When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. This is speculative fiction in that it is set like in a realistic time, but the idea is that women, for whatever reason, and they're studying it, trying to figure it out, go through this like metamorphosis where they turn into dragons, like dangerous dragons, you know, like fire-breathing, flying, the whole 9 yards, right? And it centers around a woman named Alex, who is, and she's, I think it kind of picks up in 1955 and is kind of going through this. This is dealing with a lot of like women's issues, and I am here for it. This book I've had since it came out. In fact, I went to my local Barnes & Noble and looked for it. Couldn't find it on the shelf. I went to the desk, which I don't talk to people, so the fact that I went to the desk and talked to the gentleman tells you something about how badly I wanted a copy of this book. And I said, hey, I'm looking for a copy of When Women Were Dragons, and they didn't have any. So they got some, and then they called me, and I went and I got my copy, and then it's just been sitting on my TBR cart, and then I put it on my list for my TBR as far as reading it for my bingo, for my speculative fiction box, and I haven't gotten into it. So it's high on my list of books to get to. So for my bingo. Okay. Another one for my bingo is I have a square. I think it's in the corner, but it's about reading a book with the word girl in the title. And so for that one, and if you look, this is also in my TBR video, I have a copy of Caitlin Morin's How to Build a Girl. This is a novel she wrote. She wrote a nonfiction book, which I had read before. So I've read from Caitlin Morin before. She's British, and this is set in, I think it starts in 1990. So it's set in the 90s. And one of the blurbs said, first of all, I know I like the writing style because I've read from Caitlin Morin before, and I know that this is semi-autobiographical. So there's that. So I kind of know what to expect because I've read that other book, which was nonfiction about her life. And then I've also read her writing style, so I know that. But it's been blurbed as, y'all ready for this? If The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath were written by Rizzo from Greece. And I was like, oh, ooh, that vibe. Because I have read The Bell Jar before, so I get like the feminine angst of like young women trying to find themselves and all that. But also like Rizzo from Greece. So it's got like an edge. You see like the Doc Martens? Yeah, it's got an edge. I'm here for it. Like, I'm really interested in it. I've had this on my shelf for a long time. Like, I think you see the mark on the bottom. I bought it bargain, and then I just didn't. I think I've had it, probably had it on my shelf for almost 10 years. I think maybe it came out in 2014. So like, yeah, probably like 7 or 8 years. Anyway. Okay. The next one that I have also can count for my bingo, but also it's just something that I realized, I remembered that I had on my shelf, and then I walked by it and was like, ooh, I want to read that. It is nonfiction. Okay. It is from Amber Ruffin and Lacey Lamar, and the title is You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey. Crazy Stories About Racism. I am a big believer in reading things that help broaden my understanding of like other people's lives and what it's like to say live in other areas or to be parts of other groups that I'm not a part of. And so this cover really, the cover really stands out to me. So this is written by sisters, and one lives in New York City, so she's got like that perspective. The other sister lives in Nebraska, and so it's about their conversations about like things, racist things, life things that have happened. And I'm really interested to get to this because I have a feeling, because one of the sisters used to work for the the one with Seth Meyers, the show with Seth Meyers, his show. And so I know she's got comedy chops based on that information. And so I'm really excited to read more to understand other people, but also maybe to have some laughs, you know, some uncomfortable laughs, some laughs because, you know, true stuff. Another one that I've put, that would count on the square on my bingo card for short stories, because they're short stories. They're stories. I mean, they're true, but, you know, it's stories. And then, so I also put on, because this is part of my bingo, and I even put a bookmark in the beginning of it to kind of like push me into it. Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. This one would count for the square that is for my reread a childhood favorite. So this was a book that I read when I was in, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember exactly when I was a kid, but I read it. And I remember it being really impactful, and I think that there's some really interesting conversations about, because it's based on a true story. I think there's really interesting conversations around it to be had, talking about its basis, the author's connection to the source material, the implications of someone who's not of that culture writing about that kind of thing. And then the fact that it was written in the 60s. And so like I might even film a video where I kind of talk about those things at length. I don't know. It's pretty short. Like you can see, it's really short. And so I don't think it would be much to like sit down one afternoon, knock it out, and cover that square and reread a childhood favorite and really think some things about it that I had no idea to think about back in the 90s, the early 90s whenever I read it. So, or late 80s. Oh shoot, it might have been like 1989 when I first read it. Y'all, I'm old. So anyway, last book of this TBR. I promise, last book of this TBR. So the last book of this TBR is it's not really for my bingo. I think I just put it in the free space, I guess, or whatever. But I really am trying to work through my book of the month books. And so a lot of people have been talking about this one. It's time. It's time. I need to read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle. Hello, Zevin. I can't talk anymore. This was the 2022 book of the year. And I have heard good things for the most part about it. There are people that I've heard reviews that were like, whatever. But I've heard a lot of good things, and so I want to read it to see if I agree. I think I will, because this is spanning the relationship of a young man named Sam and a girl named Sadie, and their connections in their lives, their friendships and such, but also they have gamer, nerdy interest. I've heard people say that this book sort of felt like a precursor to like Ready Player One, which Ready Player One was okay in some ways, but in other ways it was very much like a dude bro book. So this, I'm hoping it will give me other feels, not dude bro feels. And so I really would like to get this read. sooner than later. It's a bit chunky, and so it might be one that I start in the month of August and just sort of meander along. But if it's really good, I might just be like, yes, yes, and just power through it and read as much of it as possible. So that is, let me show you the stack. And now it's like kind of an inverted stack. But that is, look at all these books. That is the stack. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's only 7 books, but some of them are a little fatter than others. Some of them are not very big at all. Those are the books that I would like to read in the month of August. You know, just trying to like keep it on, and finish out the summer with like good strong reading vibes, right? So anyway, that's my TBR. Let's talk in the comments. Have you read these books? Do you have information about these books, thoughts? I am really excited about all of them, but for different reasons, you know. But anyway, yeah, so get in the comments, let me know what you think or whatever. Hopefully you you've had a good reading months this summer, and you're going to continue to have good reading months. Let me know if you've got some of these on your TBR. I would love to talk about it and hear it. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please consider liking my videos, subscribing, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.